This lecture is intended for fourth year classes, and it is by the College of Arts Department of English and by Dr. Heifa Muhammad Sharif. This lecture is entitled Sons and Lovers by D.H. Lawrence, Chapter 1. The main points of this lecture are: first, the setting of the novel, then the main characters, then the main events, and then we are going to talk about the narrative point of view and flashback. And the title of this chapter is The Early Married Life of the Morals. The setting of the novel is the coal mining village of Bestwood in Nottinghamshire in England's countryside in late 19th century. The chapter begins with a description of the neighborhood, which is called the Bottoms, the miners' dwellings in which the Morals live. The Moral family consists of, and this is the main characters we are talking about, Mrs. Moral's husband, who is a miner, and Mrs. Moral, who is aged 31 years old and married for 8 years. She is pregnant with her third child, whom she does not want because she has fallen out of love with her husband, and the family is poor. And we have also William, who is aged 7, and Annie, who is aged 5. The main events in this chapter are: Mrs. Moral, Annie, and William go to the wakes. This chapter sheds light on the relationship between William and his mother. He gives his mother the egg cups he wins as a gift. William is proud of and loves his mother very much. He feels happy and he enjoys the waves when his mother accompanies him, but he feels miserable after she leaves. When Walter Moral cuts his son's hair while his wife is sleeping, this is the second event, Mrs. Moral views this as a betrayal. The hair-cutting incident also illustrates that William is the most important person to Mrs. Moral, since she is willing to throw over her husband in favor of her son. When Mr. Moral comes home drunk, he has a fight with his wife and he locks her outside in his anger, and then he falls asleep. At the kitchen table. After an hour of knocking at the door, Mr. Moral wakes up and lets his wife in. The other point of view we are going to talk about, the novel is told from a third-person omniscient narrative point of view. In this chapter, the narrator is closest to Mrs. Moral, and he narrates her thoughts and feelings, but not of the other characters. We also have another narrative device which is important in this novel, and especially in this chapter, which is the flashback. The flashback is about the Morals' marriage. It describes the meeting between Gertrude Coppard, Mrs. Moral now, and Walter Moral at a Christmas party. The next Christmas they marry, and their early married life seems very happy. However, this happiness declines when she finds out that her husband has lied to her, and he does not own the house they lived in, but it belonged to his mother. She begins to feel isolated from her husband, and this causes her to turn toward her children instead. Now, this is the end of this lecture. I hope you have good benefit out of it, and I hope you keep on watching the videos, the next videos out of these lectures. Thank you very much.